Generally, knowledge of political communication of a political personality is not sufficient. Much time and coverage needs to be given in following a candidate around and listening to the political speeches over and over again. Most of the political reporters' time is spent while covering the purely political aspects of government and personalities who run the government. He or she gone beneath the surface of routine political events and comes up with stories of a great importance. For political reporting, the broad knowledge of election laws, system, and organizational setup, various surveys, and also we know results, how to analyze the results, polling process, techniques, the results coverage, and their proper interpretation. All these required by the political reporter. The political reporter has to interview candidates, write biographical sketches, and evaluate the candidate's position about the election manifestos of the parties and their implication and implementation aspects will give an advantage to the reporter about the political knowledge and its reporting. Education and research in reporting. This is one another kind of reporting. Here, in a research and education go together. Through research, one can add new knowledge which is necessary for educating the nation and also for national development. The research programs of different institutions, universities, various organizations, even including the private organization, they usually conduct the research. Many companies, they conduct the research, surveys, all this comes under the research reporting. Their findings and achievements should be reported in the print media or electronic media or digital media or in-house journals, wherever it is. It should be reflected in some place. It should be to reach wide population, wide mass media. That is why we specialized in education and research. Because without research and education, there is only stable, there is no new things around our life. The education system, its merits and the demerits are the main sphere of education reporting. Public and private schooling, intermediate level, higher educational, all these kinds of various categories included in the education. Coming to the research, there is a various kinds of sections, institutions. Maybe those are related to the social sciences, or rocket science. All these we know because one kind of institute is specialized for one kind of research. For example, ISRO, that is related to the space. Their research will continue to give research at the space, and DRDO, and there is various kinds of institutions in India and all around the world. They conduct the research 24 hours or regular continuous. Their aim is to find out a new thing. So for education and research, information technology, science, all these comes under the science and education. So for these all kind of new things, there is required specialized reporting, specialized reporter who have to be work with these companies. So reporter to collect the information. Yeah, go to the main who allocates the budget for the education and other institutions, universities, and to increase the literacy rate, various programs, day-to-day various programs, timely various programs inaugurated by the state government and central government, because the education element is under state government and higher education is under the central government. There is a various regulatory bodies like UGC, University Grants Commission, and also Medical Council of India, and also Nursing Council of India. There is a AICTE for the related to the engineering, and for the education sector, education department, there is a NCA, NCRT. All these are the various regulatory bodies. All these are now we have. The education and research reporter, what is basic qualifications he required? For every reporter is required some qualifications. Here, what are the new specialized qualifications required for the reporter? Nothing, because already reporters as graduates or postgraduates like that. Many newspaper organizations, electronic media organizations nowadays, they are qualified persons only they are taking from the mass communication or MA English or any specialized areas. They are familiar with the person, so they allowed the person, that reporter, to particular area only. So the education research reporter is normally expected to cover activities at all levels of the research and schooling system, from policy making to the teachers in the classrooms. The research and education beat offers the opportunity for many routine stories as well as major news breaks, features, and interpretive articles, stories. Understanding these stories, the status of educational sector in the given jurisdiction, and the policy initiatives related to the education will give major advantage to the specialized reporter in education, informing the student community and the parents about the happenings and important dates of admissions and the procedures of admissions, will also help the community and gives greater reliability. Various common entrance exam tests conducted by the national level and central level, the set related information, the application process, the examination update, how to apply, all those related information will be seen in the newspapers. We'll see in the newspapers of our regular daily newspapers are related to the educational magazines. So those information The source will give the information. The reporter has to write it in a report in a news format, and it should be published or it should be broadcast. It should be published in the newspaper. It should be published. It should be published in the magazines. It should be broadcast in the radio. It should be broadcast in the television. It should be circulated in the new media applications, new media social networking sites, because all these possible with the advancement of technology. So dear students, so far we have learned how to be educational or research reporter, specialized reporter. What a kind of qualifications required for the journalist who survive in the education beat to cover the news related to the education, research, science, technology. There is some particular qualifications is required. So generally, the newspaper management or broadcast organizations, they take the employee as a reporter. They check where they were specialized. In case of a person who is completed his law, then the management alerts in the news related to the law. Like that, if a person who related to the MSc environment, the management thinks that he is some knowledge about the environment, so we alert him to coverage the environmental news. Now coming to we go to the discuss about the another important specialized part is environment reporting. In the environment reporting, the environment affects everyday life. People sensitive about it demand the due coverage of environment and factors causing population pollution or environmental disorders, etc. Therefore, the environment reporting can become a human service reporting. We have to always alert, aware against the pollution, against the various disorders in the environment. That is our responsibility. As a reporter, we have to look in all this, not only for the just for work for our employment. We have to take it as a responsibility. We have to take it as our social responsibility. Here, what are the government measures for the prevention of pollution? What is the public part in creating and sensitive reporter uses the techniques of all kinds in environment reporting. It merited attention with most of the early focus being on water pollution, air pollution, sanitation, and urban sprawl, etc. The reporter has to cover the horror stories about the possible diseases and destruction of the planet. The reporter has to point out particularly the development of wildlife, and she consider or he consider through environmental reporting, the public can be well aware about the rate at which natural fuels we call it is a fossil fuels are being consumed and the pollution caused by the burning of these fuels. General public has to inform, as a reporter, we has to inform about the various information to the readers about present happenings and future impact of human life. In Indian condition, the air pollution. So in Indian system, conditions are and the air pollution, soil erosion, loss of soil fertility due to the overuse of fertilizers, stubble burning in Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, and some areas about in Delhi. We will see very frequently about the air quality of Delhi. It is comes every day. చెప్పండి. హలో 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 చెప్పండి. ఆ, ఎక్కడ ఫ్యాకల్టీ ఉంది సార్, ఫ్యాకల్టీ రూమ్ అది. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు మన సరే ఒక 10 minutes టైం పడుతుంది, వస్తున్నా. పెళ్ళి దేనికి ఏమి మన వీడియో వీడియోస్ని పీడిఎఫ్స్ పంపించాలా? పెన్ డ్రైవ్ పంపి. Coming to discuss about the religious reporting. In this religious reporting, we have to be very cautious because religious news is also part of a newspaper content and various medias, because it is a very sensitive area, sensitive beat. If anything against some various religious, then it will be much responsibility to the media organization. So on a part of the reporter who covering the religious events, he should be or she should be very conscious about various faiths and beliefs of people. So, however, impartially is the only effective means to deal with this beat. The reporter has to report in fair, factual, impartial, and unbiased way, and maintain objectivity. The religious reporter must have a clear understanding about various religious sects and sections, groups, organizations, institutions, and worship services in the country, and particularly we should be has about knowledge about our conscience, various laws, and various rights provided by our Indian constitution. Because everywhere, every place around the world, in every country, there is some particular laws related to the religious. So we have to be followed. In case if we cover a news, religious news as an international journalist for a particular media agency in some place, where Indonesia or America or Russia. So we have to keep it in our mind that various religious faiths and there is a local faiths, we have to keep it in our mind whether those are should not be violated. We should not be violate the laws, acts. Incorrect use of titles in religious reporting discourages the interest, while the correct use builds confidence in the reliability of news. A reporter has to be cautious in religious reporting and should always keep in view the highly sensitive nature of religious ideas, conflicts, and controversies. It is a more responsible way of reporting. Otherwise, it may lead to a certain creation of unrest in the common sensitive areas. So, dear learners, as a upcoming budding journalist, you should keep it in all these points in your writing while you are covering the religious related area news. So this is we cannot be focused a religious paper in the daily newspapers or a general 24-hour news channels, but where it will come whether a religious newspaper, some papers that is focused on the particular religious. So there is, while writing for those kind of newspapers, we have to keep it in our mind while writing various acts, laws, and there is a social responsibility, that is we must limit, we must observe, we must control, we must give the situation of a law and order whether there is a conflict. Our responsibility to control the sensitive to reduce it, make it a law and order, peaceness. That is our responsibility, not only reporting. And it is more responsible way of reporting. Otherwise, it may lead to a creation of unrest in the commonly sensitive areas. Now coming to another kind of reporting, that is a speech reporting. Speeches are the basis for sound stories published daily in the press. All those speeches taking place from time to time in the city are important to the participants, but a few are worthy of news coverage. Advanced stories are also being written about speeches through which the readers are informed about the person to be delivered, the speech, venue, and topic, etc. The reporter in a speech reporting must be well aware of the ways of covering an event and how to get right, arrange, and structure the facts of speech in news form. The additional information can be gathered at the end of the speech or to clarify some points, which is a good practice. The most significant criteria in a speech reporting, the reporter tasks only the essential parts of a speech and reports those points in a concise way. The main points of the speech go into the lead or intro, while quotes go into the body of the story. Speech reporting should possibly avoid the interpretation and need to concentrate more on what the speaker said rather than what the reporter interprets. The use of words and quotes need to be accurate and original from the speaker. If a speaker who speaks some quotation, we have to take it as this. We put it in the quotes in the newspaper. We read while you read the newspaper, it will be appears very clearly. Because if we quote it as is, that is some attribution. The responsibility, the credibility will come because that is gives more attribution, more credibility to that newspaper. So, dear learners, as a journalism student, you are going to report on a speech reporting or any kind of reportings, you must keep it all these points. Now coming to the other section, that is a cultural reporting. Cultural reporting requires a reporter to cover not only the individual, that is artist, craftsman, or singers, dancers, etc., but also to cover different cultural organizations, institutions, and other events by upholding public interest. For this, the reporter has to dig out that how many cultural organizational institutions, setups exist in the city or town where he is covering. The cultural reporter is actually a cultural promoter. The reporter has a great responsibility to stimulate interest and particulation of in various cultural functions. The reporter has to get ideas, opinions, and news about culture from different materials printed by these organizations. We have various organizations related to the cultural, singing, dancing, and some instrumental, martial arts. All these are various types, institutions we have to cover. There is another sports reporting. Sports reporting fields is broad, interesting enough to challenge the finest talent. The sports coverage remains the lifeblood of most sports pages. All newspapers are now covering, allotting a full page or off page for sports. Some of newspapers who in English newspaper they are giving 2 pages for sports. Some magazines which are very focused on the sports only. Entire 100 pages giving for a week for sports. They are giving elaborated future stories with a beautiful images. The quality of written sports items depends on the quality of its reporting, because we have to know various words, jargons, various play methods, techniques. Because as a sports reporter, we have to know all these in our day-to-day career. Sports reporting ranges from straight news reporting to all degrees of any one of these degrees are in the all this combined means if we have a degree in special in physical education, we know all type of sports. For an important sports event, an urban story, the straight story, or similarly background prediction, follow-ups, all these comes in the sports. The sports personalities, we have to interview with the sports personalities. We have to chit chat with a sports person who were the sources for sports person. Where the sources for sports reporting? Various sports academies, and all around the world, in every place, every city, every town, even small towns, there is every day, means a district headquarters, every day there is some kind of a sports conducted by the various organizations. Maybe they were related to the sports, or maybe they were related to the other schools or government. So we have a number of sources to cover sports news. So dear students, again the parliament reporting is one kind of a reporting, and crime reporting is a specialized reporting in the various categories. So each kind of a reporting is required. There are some specialities, some special qualities to understand the beat, that beat. Dear students, here is I'm winding up this session. Tomorrow, our coming session, we will discuss more about why the purpose of specialized reporting is imported in the press or media. Maybe it is in electronic media or a sports or in a print media, and who are the target persons, target audience, what are the subjects need to cover, what is the convention, and the impact of specialized reporting. All these we will discuss in the next session. Thank you very much, dear students. Here I am signing off right now. We will come again. I will come tomorrow in the next session to discuss more about the specialized reporting.